What's good, people? It's your boy, Icarus Gray. And this is Gray Area Anime. And we are the most wonderful podcast of your day. And we are back with another one. Back with another one. It's dangerous to go alone. So we choose you to join us in this amazing podcast where I get to discuss, good Lord, one of my passions, and that is anime. And today is finally time for the revival of Teach Me Senpai that I do with my lovely co-host for this segment currently, which normally it's well, good God, look at me stumbling all over my words. Teach Me Senpai. I'm gonna take notes from my co-host. For those of you who don't know, Teach Me Senpai is where I bring in a guest who does not know a lot about anime as my music abruptly stops because I forgot how short my track is. But before I get further distracted, Teach Me Senpai is basically where I bring in a noob who does not know a lot about anime, and I have them watch something, and then we discuss it. The addendum to that series, though, is that I bring in my co-host from the Bible Study Girl podcast, Bible Study Girl, also known to me as Ree.
Hello. Thank you so much for opening the doors of your podcast and allowing me to come back. It's always good to learn something new and to talk about something fun and different.
And so the change that I made with this series that I learned initially was it's really hard to have a noob watch an anime and that you've already watched and be able to kind of figure out what questions they have and use your expertise. So the change I made was we normally watch something new, a new series together, so that way I can, like, if she has questions, be able to answer them and better help her get to an actual understanding. Now, this one I couldn't control myself. I binge watched the entire first season.
So you broke your own rule.
I did.
Okay.
But it's still fresh. It's not the caveat to that is it's not something that I watched years ago, and I'm trying to see what your experience of this thing that I love is. This was more like very recent. Like, I literally, by the time I was telling you to watch, I think I finished the 12th episode.
Okay. So can I ask you a little question before we dive deeper?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So my question is, did you pick this show specifically for me to watch because you felt like it's something that's in my lane, or you were just watching it and you thought she might like this? What was your
Bit of both.
bit of both?
Bit of both,
Okay.
actually. I had started watching it, and then I was like, this fits our cute dynamic. And we are going to return with doing Ascendance of a Bookworm. We just have to get scheduling done with the executive producer of this here podcast, who is not currently here because she's a hardworking woman, prima diva. So,
Are you trying to say I'm not a hardworking woman?
you say what you say. But so we needed something that we could watch because clearly the podcast is back. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. I'm sorry that I left you guys for almost a year. Almost got out of there for a year. We hadn't done anything since Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was the last episode that I did. We did a
Wow.
Thanksgiving episode where it was a Teach Me Senpai again, where we had Charmaine watch all food inspired animes at varying levels of intensity in terms of whether it was fan service or the cooking aesthetic overall, just to kind of get our palates ready. So,
Can I ask you another question?
yes.
What's fan service?
Fan service, for those who don't know, is basically think Bridgerton. So anytime that there's eye candy on the screen and there's something
Okay,
sexy going
got it.
on, now it's not as. Hopefully, you're not watching an anime that is exactly like Bridgerton because you're just watching hentai and or porn at this point.
Oh,
But
okay.
what I mean to use in that example is just like I said, sexualized things. You will see boobs, might be a panty shot, might be abs, might be some guy ripping his shirt off like Hulk Hogan or something like that. But I get the most accurate example I've always used is Baywatch. Just Baywatch in general is.
Okay. I like this show because I get to ask questions, and I'm great at asking a question.
You are, and that's something that we've worked on as well. But anyway, let's dive into what I decided to have you watch, which was the the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. Kirishima Toru was accustomed to solving all problems through violence and was called the Demon of Sakuragi. One day, the boss of the Sakuragi family suddenly summons Kirishima and appoints him caretaker of his only daughter, Yaika, a heartwarming comedy about a Yakuza crime family's right-hand man and the boss's only daughter. The two of them are about to begin their new daily lives together, and that is the premise for this anime that I've had her watch. I chose her to watch it because it fits within our cute realm. That's kind of where we reside right now. I'm trying to get her accustomed to the waters, and I think my sister is going to fit more within the slice of life style of anime, and we're gonna get her feet wet, and then eventually we'll go to the Your Lies in April, and Your Name Is though Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. All of those slice of life staples for me we're gonna walk through at some point, but we're gonna start here. So do you want to do what we did with the Sentence of Bookworm and kind of go through the episode, or do you want to talk about how you felt?
Let's go through the episode because I have tons of questions and tons of first impressions about
Okay.
everything that happened during the episode. Also, I want to say, this has nothing to do with the topic, but kind of does. So, you asked me to watch the episode, and it took me forever to watch it because I generally watch TV while I'm working, not really watching, but I kind of like listen to TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to play it, and I'm like, girl, you don't speak Japanese. Like, you have to literally watch this. That's what took me so long. Like, I had to be fully invested in the episode. I want to give you my first impressions. I really, really liked it.
I thought you might enjoy this. And so let's start with the beginning of the episode, which it basically shows you Kirishima in his native element. He is the first lieutenant of the Sakuragi family, and he is clocking into work, as he said. And there was some people that were encroaching on their turf, and he needed to handle up. So yeah.
Listen, that's what the show opens with. And I'm like, what kind of mess does he have me watching? Like, I thought this was supposed to be about a babysitter. So yeah, the opening scene, I'm like, what's going on?
So the opening scene obviously serves to give you what kind of person Kirishima is within this Yakuza family. So that way you can understand how much of a change of pace this is for him.
Right. That opening scene sets the stage beautifully. Like, I'm like, who is this savage? Why am I watching this? Honestly, I thought the two guys were toast, like singing with the angels. Go ahead.
um, but yeah, so that's how the episode starts, and then we transition into Sakuragi or the boss calling Kirishima in to give him his new assignment, which is to take care of his young daughter, Yaika. And they kind of give you a little foreshadowing as to why he has to do that, because some might ask, well, why not? Why will the mom not do that? And eventually we get there in terms of like the bigger explanation, but there's the beginning premise of it, or the
That
beginning
is,
episodes.
yeah, that is the beginning premise. I assumed so. They also at the beginning they show a shot of Yaki. Is that how you say her name?
Yaka.
Yaka. They show a beginning shot of Yaka with a lady that I assume was her mother, and she's giving her the news. Hey, your dad is going to be able to take care of you now, so you're going to stay with him.
No, that is her aunt.
I know, but they don't
Oh,
clarify that
they
when
don't. They don't.
at
They don't.
all.
Good point. Good
Again,
point.
this
Good
is
point. Good point. Yeah.
listen to the person that I'm setting the scene
Yeah.
for you as I'm taking it in. And I'm thinking to myself, why is her mom giving her over to her dad? It just was weird to
Yeah.
me. And then to go to the scene where the daddy is talking to
Kirishima.
Kirishima. Yeah, was interesting.
Yeah, I guess it was presented like that.
It was presented like it was
Yeah.
her mother. They were in the living room just having mother-daughter time. And she's like, great news. Your dad's going to be able to take care of you now. And I'm like,
I guess I think you get so used to in these like style of episodes kind of knowing what's going on, because you're just used to, okay, if the setup is this, majority of time one or two things are going on. Either the mom is either they immediately tell you that their parents are dead, mother's out of the picture, mother's gone to do this, and so on and so forth. I have another one that I know that's in this kind of not Yakuza based, but is another like older guy, young girl, building a father daughter kind of relationship kind of thing that I know you'll enjoy. I just not thought about that because I love it. But anyway, so moving on from that point, now we get into the introduction of Yaika to Kirishima, and this little red-haired girl, or Jo-san, as he calls her, which is little lady or little girl. And it's a respectful way of addressing the fact that this is the boss's daughter, which is why later on in the episode he corrects himself to make sure he's not just calling her little lady out in public. And was like, that would be weird. Let me call you by your name since I'm, yeah.
See, those are the nuances that I don't pick up on because I don't watch anime and
Yeah.
I don't speak Japanese. So I'm missing a lot of the cultural aspects. So it's interesting to hear you discuss like things I would not have picked up on or I did not pick up on just from watching the episode. So you're doing a great job of teaching and giving me these cultural references that right over my head.
So this far in, what are you thinking about it? Like, are you starting to get why I suggested it?
I am. It was an interesting premise to me. You know, the boss was very adamant that his lieutenant needed to learn responsibility because he's a bit of a savage. The other guy that was with him when they were taking care of turf business, I can't think of his name. I didn't write it down. But he basically says to him, "Hey, bro, you're kind of ruthless, and that's not what we were supposed to be doing. Like, you need to rein it in." And I think his boss having him babysit his daughter is a great way for him to teach him responsibility. He basically says, "Hey, you you have the ruthless side down. You have the I don't know, the savageness down, but you need to learn some finesse and you need to learn some order." So I think it's a beautiful storyline to get him to babysit his daughter. Number one, he knows his daughter will be safe in his care because dude is a savage. He's a beast. He can handle himself well when it comes to fisticuffs. You like that old fashioned word? I do.
I see you.
And so it's a safe environment for his daughter. I like it. And it also allowed me to see the boss's soft side just a teensy bit. But then he had to hurry up and let him know, hey, I'm still legit. You take care of my baby. So
Yeah, it was fun. And then The immediate next transition is Kai, is Sugihara is his name.
Okay.
And so it's an interesting transition that we now go from Kirishima to basically being pretty seemingly good at this job in a certain way of like immediately kind of connecting in his way with the boss's daughter, which you wouldn't like readily understand that it's new and kind of different for him. So it starts with him doing her hair or attempting to do her hair and stumbling in that way that I think a lot of young fathers would stumble, which just like, this is what I've seen people do. Oh God, this is not turning out the way I wanted to. And Yaika is just like, okay, I'm just gonna have my hair down today.
Right. Let's just forget this, bro. You don't know what you're doing. I look a mess.
So then Kai kind of shows up and he's like, Kirishima goes, "Oh, you have long hair. It's time to practice on you, bro.
Right.
And you have no choice in the matter." To which the boss pops up and sees Kai and is just like, "Nope, not dealing with whatever y'all got going on. I'm out. I'm out." Close the door, leaves, and you just kind of get these first interactions with Kirishima and Yaika, which are very innocent and very cool. And it's time for him now to take her to school. And the guys you saw in the beginning
that I thought were dead, they're not.
Have come back like, oh no, we about to get him. He got some girl with him. Kirishima notices because he's the type of the guy that has that kind of instinct and sense about him in terms of his surroundings. Tells Yaika that they're going to play red light, green light. I got.
Are you familiar with that game?
Yeah. You never play red light, green light?
Explain how it goes.
So in red light, green light, a person will, and this was also, if anybody has seen the Squid Games, this was.
I have not. That's probably why.
This was also the first game that they played in Squid. No, we play it here, but I'm just saying for those of you who don't know what red light, green light is. So you go to.
You're gonna have to describe it because what she was doing, I'm like, I don't. What is this game?
You go to a determined point, and a person has to close their eyes, and they're like on a tree or wherever. And when they say red light, you can't move. And when they say green light, you can move closer to them. The goal is to get to them and touch them. When they say red light, when they turn around, if you're still moving, you're out. Like if you fell or if you couldn't stop in a certain, like you have to stop immediately.
Got it.
Which is why she was so mad at him for two reasons. One, because he immediately won in one green light. And two, he said, "Hey, I got some friends that want to play this game with us." To which she turns around and sees no one but him and is like, "You lied."
Yeah, she was very upset. She glared at him.
So are there any questions this far in episode? Because this is about halfway through.
No, you just answered my question about red light, green light. I'm like, what kind of game is this? But that makes more sense because while she was on the light pole saying red light with her eyes closed, he was further taking care of business and whooping the mess out of the people he had already whooped the mess out of. And of course, she's like, there's nobody here because he made sure he put them like behind a fence. This guy's like he's a savage, man. I keep saying it.
So then we go to the next scene, which is.
Can I say too, I like how it seems to me like he instantly flips into the role of caregiver and has enough sense to know I need to shield the boss's daughter from my nefarious deeds.
Right. And I think that's his expertise is he doesn't want the name of the Sakuragi family to be tarnished in a certain way, but he's professional in very Yakuza terms. And so this, like, understanding the job is like, walk you to school, how you doing today. He understands the basic premise of these things. And as we get further into the season, I think there's a lot of things that you'll really enjoy from this. So we go from there to now. Yaika is getting ready in the morning, and she's looking at a piece of paper. You don't know what the piece of paper says. Kirishima comes in. She hides the paper, and it's like, hey, you supposed to knock before you come in. And he's like, hey, little miss, you forgot your backpack. To which she pouts, goes and gives her backpack, and they leave. Her aunt shows up, and
And this is when I figured out that was her aunt. I was like, wait, this is her mama. And he was, anyway. But then I was like, oh, it's her
yeah.
aunt. So where's her mama? Go ahead.
They'll answer that later in the season, so I can't give that away now.
Well, I don't want you to. I'm
Okay.
because at the
Or yeah,
end
they
there's a
did answer it.
cliffhanger.
Yeah.
There's a cliffhanger. Go ahead.
So the aunt shows up and she's talking to Kirishima about having to work today, to which which Yaika understands as, I was gonna ask her something, but I'm pretty sure I can't now. So, I guess I just gotta go on to school. She immediately gets sad and just kind of walks out and kind of leaves the both of them. To which they're like, I don't know what happened or what's going on or what she's upset about. So they go to kind of like inspect what's going on. After he's walked her to school or gotten her to school, he comes back, talks to the aunt. They go to her room and they find a permission slip, which there's an open house today where parents are supposed to show up. And she got sad because she was going to ask the aunt, and she had brought one of those to her before, but she couldn't get off. And it just sets the dynamic of you lived a life of Yakuza involvement where they can't really move around the same way that other people move. And there's this flashback while she's there where her dad is saying, hey, I'm not always going to be able to grant the wishes that you want, but it doesn't mean that you can't ask for them, because your wishes can still come true. It just necessarily wouldn't mean that I'm going to be the one to do them. With them figuring that out, she's sitting there. She's about to start crying because the other kids are saying, mommy, mommy, and talking about their parents and stuff. And it's really emotionally weighing on her, which I know is a dead ringer for my sister's going to love this type stuff. And right before she starts crying, Kirishima compliments her picture because he's made it, and come along to talk to her. To which he's the star of the show.
Honey, all the mamas that were there for the open house were like, ooh, her daddy is fine.
So they go through that. He tells her, I really love that you're drawing this cherry blossom tree, which Japanese or animes do a lot of things with, and I wish I knew more Japanese because then I would start to kind of like readily see the things that they're saying. I do know that a sakura tree, sakuragi, and thinking about the breakdown, it's kind of like if you were to break down, good God, I I have no idea what would be a comparable thing at this point. But it's something that derives from the same thing. And so their name derives from cherry blossom. Like you can find like, hey, it's saku like cherry or the cherry blossoms that's in our name.
Okay.
And so he compliments her on that and says, that's kind of like the boss's tattoo. It's really nice. He gets embarrassed, and then they fast forward to them getting home, where Yaika is outside of her dad's room, wanting to give him the picture that she drew, because she knows that that's in her name, and she enjoys. She just wants to give him a gift. So Kirishima helps her go in to give the gift. He enjoys it. He puts it up. She comes, or he's talking. Kirishima's again talking to her aunt, and she says, one day you're gonna be family. Like it does. You don't have to share blood to be family, and you're gonna be a part of her family. And it's funny because they're already technically family, given that it's mob ties. It's
Yeah,
Yakuza
that
law.
is the mob. Yeah.
But she just means genuinely, not in the sense of, you know,
Right, because Kirishima didn't want to go to the open house because he told her. I mean, they're flashing back to show us why he ended up at the open house.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because he's like, okay, I'm not her family. This is for parents to
Right.
go to. And the aunt is basically breaking it down and saying, hey, bro, like y'all are gonna have these experiences together.
Yeah.
You are family. You're building that.
And then we end the episode with Yaika comes in and tells him, "Thank you for coming to the open house today. Really had fun. It kind of really meant a lot," is what she's saying to him in her way. And then they pan out to showing a picture of Yaika's mom, which you can't see her face. And she's in a hospital bed, and she, has ventilators and things attached to her. And that is how they end the episode.
Yeah, they also pan out to a picture of a guy, the lady, and the little baby that I'm assuming is
That's
Yaki.
Sakuragi Yaika
Yeah.
and her mom. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm assuming. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is where her mama is in the hospital bed, or she up under the dirt. Like she's no longer with us, is what they left me thinking episode 1. So we'll see what happens in the upcoming episodes. But right now, she gone to glory in my head. But also those dudes at the beginning were gone to glory, and then they popped up trying to play red light, green light. So I don't know.
So overall, thoughts, questions, feelings about this first episode of the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting.
Okay, say the name of the family again. The crime family.
The Sakuragi.
The Sakuragi family. You were talking. I don't. Did you say Yakuza at some point?
Yeah, they're Yakuza.
What does that mean?
Mafia. Japanese mafia.
Okay, because I was like, he's talking about this like this is something very specific, and I should know what that is, but I do not.
Yakuza,
and that's why, because I was thinking, okay, are they the Yakuza family? Like the way he's saying it is making me feel like it's the Yakuza, which is why I asked you what the name of the family is again. Okay, so the Yakuza is the Japanese equivalent of a mob family.
Basically, yes.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Any other thoughts and or questions about the episode, or just general feelings?
I think it is going to be a great watch. I like the little cliffhanger they left me on. Overall, I thought it was interesting. This is a food tangent, but the aunt brought over the little girl some omelets. Were they rolled omelets or something?
Yeah, fried rolled omelets, I believe.
Do you know what's in a fried roll omelet? Because it didn't look good to me. So I'm wondering if your description will make it more appetizing. Because that's her favorite food. And like the aunt said, like you're going to start to learn more about her, know more, and have more experiences with her. You're going to know her favorite food. You know what her favorite food is. And now you're going to learn more about her. So tell me what the omelets, if you know what they are. If you don't, that's okay. But they didn't look good to me.
I mean, I think it's just simply because they're not focused on.
I know it's not about making all the food looking appealing, but I was just curious because my mind always goes to food.
So it's really just an omelet that's like rolled up, obviously, and cut up. It's a really simple dish. They will sometimes put a lot of they'll put ketchup on it. They'll put green onions or parsley in it.
See, if she had threw some green onions on top of it, I probably would have been all in.
Yeah, but I think she's just at the enjoyment of it's probably just egg seasoned well, nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
Because they really supreme about their omelets and in the way they go about doing these things. There's another dish called amu rice, where it's like an omelet that they make a dome of an omelet over rice. That they'll put ketchup on at the top or whatever, and it's like a really seasoned, maybe a soy sauce based rice under there. and they'll do other kind of things with it. But it's in that realm of food, so it probably doesn't look that great because I think it's just probably a basic fried omelet. Or
Okay.
yeah.
Just checking. So that was my question.
But overall, where are you rating this scale for your noob level? We'll go through a 1 through 5. Obviously, 5 being great.
Okay, so since I've only watched one other anime,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm comparing anime to anime. Like, I give it a 3 now. I
Okay.
don't hate it, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Okay.
It's good. I think it's a solid anime. You know, my rating, I feel like you should ask me every time we get on
Mm-hmm.
what my rating scale is because it
That's
may
my new thing.
change. Like
Yeah.
as we go through that series or the first season, I may be like, I was a liar. Like when I go back, this is a 5 because baby, they set me up.
They are. It's gonna get good. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna get intense. Because you're entering into the slice of life category, which I said earlier. I don't know if you know what that meant.
I didn't. I actually was going to ask you like what the different anime categories were, but I also,
Oof,
I'm trying to respect my role as a guest and not be too long-winded.
you're fine. You ask away, and we're free to have those conversations. So in the realm of slice of life, it just means basically based in reality. So there's not magic and all of these different things like in a sentence of a bookworm, which is an isekai. That has slice of life elements in the fact that there's the class system. Her use of magic doesn't immediately make them rich and things of that nature. Like they're working towards certain things, but it's the genre that you would have father-daughter things, that you would have relationship things, that there's no or not a lot of magical things going on. There's just a lot more um, emotionally driven, story-based um, content. Um,
So what's your favorite genre of anime?
oh, favorite is probably shonen. Which you can check out all of these genres actually being explained if you want a little bit more and suggestions at youtube.com/Icarus Gray. I have a genre series that you can go and watch. All of the genres there. If you have any more that I had left off on my genre series, then just let me know and I'll make sure that I get an update of a video on them. But shonen would probably be my favorite because that's what I've been introduced to my entire life in so many
Oh,
forms.
I mean, I know they need to go to the video to listen, but
Shonen
what's
is
shonen?
shonen by definition is meant for teenage boys or meant for boys of meant for young men.
Okay.
And it's not saying that it's only for them, but there's a lot of things that are geared towards that. Pokemon is a shonen anime. Dragon Ball Z is a shonen anime. These are things that I think you would know in terms of just general
Yeah, I know who
culture.
they are. Like I
Yeah.
know who they are. Sweet
Um,
Baby is she knows who they are too.
so
Is there an
those would be some
equivalent for females? Like shonen is
shojo.
for
Yes.
show. Oh, okay. All right.
Shojo, which I do have a video for in that genre series, is for women. There's sports anime, which I mean, self-explanatory. It's about sports. There's Mecha, which deals with giant robots. Like technically, if Power Rangers had a cartoon equivalent, which I'm pretty sure they do, uh, that would be considered Mecha. Voltron is Mecha. Um, but that's the distinction there. And then there's obviously psychological horror and thriller and same things that we have here, but the only distinct ones that I think you wouldn't readily know would be shonen, shoujo, slice of life is kind of like
Got it.
different.
Thank you.
No problem, no problem, no problem. But I don't know. I think in my older age, I've grown to love slice of life things more.
I think
Um,
so.
but I do really love a good. I love a good shonen. If it's good and gives me just enough slice of life elements in terms of how they're building their characters, I'm good. Because
Okay.
shonen doesn't ever have to really do character development if it doesn't want to, because it's more so about the fighting and like you set up a basic premise of basically it would be the most character development some shonen animes will have in terms of emotional stuff. So maybe I'm a guy who doesn't really want to attack people, and somebody walks up and smacks the hell out of you, and then I just go crazy and beat the crap out of them because I have an emotional connection to she don't do nothing to nobody, don't smack, and then I break out of my
Yeah.
shell. Like that's how shonen sometimes can handle emotional stuff, which is like
Okay.
it's something you can easily understand versus this one, which dives into, okay, well, why are you like this? This is a huge thing. You got stuff going on. This has stuff going on. They're all connected, and where are we gonna go with this? There can be a sad ending. I mean, shonen can have sad endings, but it's built for quickness and built for you to kind of enjoy it on a quick basis. I'm trying to think if there are any more questions that I have for you in terms of just the series itself. Thus far in this first episode, but did I think correctly, like I said, in suggesting this in terms of something that I think fits within your wheelhouse of what you may be interested in?
It was cute. I
Okay.
think you thought correctly.
Okay.
Because again, like I said, when I first started watching it, I'm like, what in the mess is this? But I like the little twists and turns we've had so far. And I'm interested to see how his character develops and how the little girl's character develops over time. I think that's gonna be interesting. And I really want to know like how the dad, I don't know if he'll be able to step up in any kind of way at any point in time. That's interesting to me as well. Because he's there,
Mm-hmm.
but he's distant. And so I'm interested to see how those dynamics play out.
That is interesting. I'm gonna give you that one only because it's not consequential to anything. Uh,
Don't tell me.
okay, never mind.
Don't. I don't. Don't
Well,
tell
it's
me.
not. It's not a story. Anything. I'm just saying, like it. She understands what he does, and so their relationship is kind of it's closer than what you would presume.
Assume
But
yeah.
it's like they're not going to give you that like moment of he feels like this Yakuza life. I just need to like.
Well, I'm not even expecting that. I'm not expecting that at all. And I do like how he wasn't distant from her. He
Yeah,
was grateful for the picture and stuff, but I don't know. I just feel bad for her because
yeah.
her mom is not there. And
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that it really is about their relationship, and that's the only reason I wanted to like kind of explain that, or Kirishima and Yaku's relationship, because her and her dad's relationship is good. Um, and so and it's weird because I just feel like I would have asked the same things, but I think she kind of just understands what he does, and they get
yeah,
their time together in her own way.
right. It is
Um,
what it is.
So yeah, so I appreciated that. This was an excellent episode back. Um I hope that you guys enjoyed this, that maybe you want to watch along with us. My preferred method of doing this is on Crunchyroll. If you want to hit us up, you can hit me up at on Instagram at Icarus_Gray, on Twitter at Icarus Gray. Go to the Gray Area Anime fan page on Facebook, or Icarus Gray. Either or will work there. But if you're looking for anime specifically and you don't want rap music and all that other good stuff, I would just go to Gray Area Anime. You can hit up my email at grayareaanime. What? Let me look. What is my email?
I don't
Oh
know.
Lord, I know you don't
Well,
know.
while you're
Child.
going through your things, if you guys are interested in knowing more about me and what I do, you can head over to BibleStudyGirl.com. You can also find Bible Study Girl on Facebook. would love to interact with you. But don't come over there asking me about anime because I can't help you. I don't know. I'm here learning, y'all. I'm learning.
But yeah, the email is grayareaanime@gmail.com. So if you're looking to come on to talk about anime or anything like that, message me there or on Facebook. And until next time, a 1 and a 2 and a peace.